Yeah.
And here is a hand I am going to share with you, Grant Dennison. I was playing on Clubs Poker. I was playing quarter 50 as I do. And this was an interesting one for sure. So let's watch or listen in together if you're a podcast listener.
I'll be the
only.
judge of if it's interesting. You
Here's
can't
the
say that it's
situation.
interesting without me having seen it. That's not a good way to preface the hand.
I thought you were going to be
That makes...
I thought you were going to be a judge if they were a podcast.
No, that's okay. I understand.
You know.
You don't want to see Jonathan's face. I get it.
Well, that's good. Everyone, yeah, I get that too. And I support you guys, all of you. Anyway, I'm going to be in the hijack here. And, we're up against your normal group of regs and civilians. And we're going to have king, queen offsuit, king of clubs, queen of diamonds. There's going to be a limp from +1. And it's going to fold to me. I'm going to raise the pot, which is 225. The cutoff is going to call. The button will fold.
You're in the low jack for the listeners.
The small blind is...
For the listeners.
Oh, my gosh. I am totally... Oh, no, I'm not. I'm in the hijack, buddy.
Oh, right. You're in the
Low jack is before
hijack
the hijack.
for the listeners. I don't know the positions, but I know
That
to
is
say what
amazing.
position I'm in.
It feels
It's
good. It
kind
feels
of
good
like
when you
parts
get it
of
that
speech.
wrong
It's
this
like everybody's
publicly.
like, it's weird that you don't know what they are by now, but I'm still skating by. And same thing with positions in poker.
And I'm just going to let it go. I'll let the comments do their work.
Yeah, I'm
Guys,
sure they
go
will.
get them. Okay. So anyway, it folds to the big blind who calls and the limper calls. So we're four ways. We have king, queen offsuit, king of clubs, queen of diamonds. We are indeed in the hijack with the cutoff behind us. Also, the big blind and +1 have called. Every 2 weeks, we have a special Poker Guys Mystery Bounty Tournament on Clubs Poker. Come play, try and knock us out. There's money involved. It's great.
There is money involved, and there's more money for you when you use the code POKERGUYS when you sign up, because there is a 100% deposit bonus. Sign up today. Mysteries await.
Right. So the pot has 925 in it, and the flop is king, 6-4, 1 diamond, 2 hearts. It goes check, check to us.
All right. Let's talk about the overall strategy of this spot.
Okay.
4 ways. We're likely to be ahead.
Yeah.
We are 4 ways more likely to see a check raise than we would be heads up, because there's plenty of combo draws. People can, of course, have us beat, but it's relatively dry. So what's your general strategy? I'm guessing is going to be to bet. I'm wondering what sizing you're going to pick, because we're 4 ways and there are 2 hearts and potential straight draws.
When you say to bet, do you mean on this board, or do you mean on this board with this hand?
On this board with this
Yeah.
hand, and on this board with anything that has like some level of connection to it,
Yeah.
that can improve. You know, like I feel like maybe 3-4 of clubs is not a bet. Maybe we just kind of give up a lot in this spot. We could bet it sometimes and check it sometimes. I feel like I'd much rather have a hand like Ace-4 with the Ace of Hearts, where we have like multiple improving turn cards when we're 4 ways.
We definitely would prefer ace-4 to 3-4 for many reasons,
Yeah.
no doubt. But, like that's a better hand anyway, though. Like,
Yeah.
I think if I have a pair, I'm probably betting in general here. It's my board. But I don't know that I have a whole lot of bluffs here 4 ways, though. Like, so besides the obvious bluffs, like the high equity bluffs, like your ace-x of hearts or hearts in general, or like a reasonable straight draw or something like that.
I think your bluffs that are less equity can be the good back doors, like ace deuce, ace 3, ace 5, ace 10, ace jack, ace queen of diamonds. Those hands are reasonable to bet.
I don't think those are unreasonable by any means. I think I do that sometimes. I'm talking about in practice here, but a lot of time I'm just going to check even those, just because we're 4 ways, and I don't really believe I have huge fold equity in this spot. But that is, of course, a reason to bet the hand that I have here, right? When I have top pair, good kicker, and I rate to have the best top pair, or certainly not. No one's going to have a better top pair than me almost ever, with king, queen on this king 6-4 2-heart board. Of course, we want to charge all the draws and all the equity as well. So to me, with this hand, it feels like a very straightforward bet. And then how much to bet is the only other question. I don't think you need to bet huge. I think anywhere between 35% and half the pot is totally cool. Any thoughts on that?
I have a slight disagreement with that.
Okay.
I think on a board like this, when you have a good draw on this board, you don't mind betting bigger and getting action. And when you have a hand like this, there are plenty of weaker kings and draws that will continue for the larger price anyway. So I think I prefer more of like a 75% pop bet four ways.
Oh, that's fair. I guess I think because we're four ways, the pot's bigger than it normally is, and stack to pot being more dramatic. Like I'm not the effective stack actually. There's a bunch of effective stacks, I guess, really, but the shortest stack has 54 in it. The largest stack besides myself has 82. There's already 925 in there. So like even a half pot bet, which might get some worse things than kings to call that are made hands. Not right behind me, but like the guy who limped. If the guy who limped his pocket sevens and everyone folds to a half pot bet, he's probably going to call once. But to a 3/4 pot bet, he might fold. So I get to keep in weaker stuff that way. But I don't charge draws as much, and I don't charge made kings as much. I grant you that. So it's an interesting spot. Anyway, I don't even remember what I did. Let's find out. Looks like I'm betting half pot. Just click that 50% button. I get called by two players, the guy right behind me and the big blind. So now we're three ways. The pot is 23-14 in it, so it's already getting kind of big relative to everyone's stack here. We have a stack with 55 in it, a stack with 77 in it. So we're like 3-1, even with the big stack now. The turn is the ace of diamonds. We have king, queen with the queen of diamonds on this ace, king, 6-4, 2 diamond, 2 heart board. And the big blind checks.
This is a sort of crappy spot. I know I say this a lot when we're doing the online hands, but it's a more interesting spot to continue when you're deeper, when the effective stack is far deeper SPR, because if a diamond comes in, you can more reasonably expect to get folds by repping the nuts because you have the queen of diamonds blocking the nuts.
Sure.
But I don't think that's really in play at this SPR. So it's not a consideration as much. It's more of just like the ace of diamonds is a categorically bad card for this hand while being a good card for your range, which puts it in a weird spot. I mean, obviously, the only aces you're supposed to be against are ace X of hearts, which have you in just complete equity jail right now. It is, of course, possible that somebody has ace 6 or ace 4 also, which is also complete equity jail. Other aces are just random float bad player stuff, which is possible too. I don't know.
Possible, but not super likely when I bet half pot four ways because the half pot is bigger, right? So it's not impossible, but you wouldn't expect too many random ace highs that aren't hearts here anyway. So I feel like the ace doesn't hit them that much. But if I bet, all I'm doing now is bluffing, right? Like I'm hoping, I'm like protecting equity against hearts and really not much and like random two pairs that come in on the river. There's not too much I'm protecting against. And again, with stack to pot being what it is, anyone who's got the ace high hearts is obviously never folding here. So I don't remember what I did. I like a check as we're talking about it. I think I checked.
I do too. This
check.
is one of those spots where it's really nice to have a lot of data on your opponents to know like if they're going to bluff the 10 high hearts here. Like if you have any history with them doing stuff like that, because then you can go into check call mode. But when you have no idea what your opponents are like, then it makes it pretty tough.
No doubt. So I do check, which I think makes all the sense in the world. It checks through. So, doesn't mean for sure we're in great shape here, but that helps. The guy behind us in the cutoff, checking there, he could have ace X of hearts, but he's less likely to. He's often going to bet that.
Yeah, I'm much more worried about the big blind having the ace X of hearts. I think the cutoff is usually behind you.
And the good news is the big blind is going to have a lot more sort of randomy, trashy stuff because he's in the big blind, right? Like he has more incentive to call than anybody else, the raise in the first place. All right, anyway, the river comes in here. It's the 5 of diamonds. So we have the queen of diamonds in our hand, but we also have king. We have a king in our hand, which is, the best hand sometimes. We could think about what we want to do if check 2. I think if check 2, my plan would be to probably just check because I think I have the best hand, but I don't know that I can get called by worse very much. Perhaps bluff catch from the guy behind me or, anyone with missed hearts some of the time as well. But I don't really get the option to do that because the big blind does bet here. And the big blind bets 17-36 into 23-14.
All right. To recap for the listeners, it's king, 4, 6, diamond, heart, heart, and then ace of diamonds, 5 of diamonds. So I don't know. Like he could definitely have missed hearts.
Yeah.
7, 8 comes in.
Yes.
That does obviously complete some 2 pairs that he might play this way, 4, 6, 5, 6. He's unlikely to have ace 5 or ace 4, although he could have ace 5 of hearts specifically.
Yeah. Yeah. He could.
What immediately jumps to my mind is I wouldn't expect sizing this big 3 ways with like ace 7 of hearts.
Agreed.
Or something like that.
Agreed.
I wouldn't expect to be able to get called by a weaker hand. So I don't think he had the naked nut flush draw that turned into 1 pair.
Right.
So yeah, he's got for value 7, 8, maybe deuce 3. He could have deuce 3. Maybe 3, 7. I'm not entirely sure about this player.
I guess, yeah.
And then ace 5 of hearts and some other slow plays, I guess. But that's everything that makes sense to me value wise. Bluff wise, it's just all the missed hearts.
Yeah.
Or maybe something like 5, 7, which is turning it itself into a bluff.
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah, 5-7 could do that. Then you have to give the player credit for having that gear, which I don't know. We don't know about this player. Some players certainly do at this stake level. Some don't. So,
well, this player's name is I Stack Chips. So usually when you stack chips, you're good at poker. So we can assume that
tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
All right. So based on all that, and we do have a guy behind us also still. What do you want to do here?
The guy behind is not a huge concern to me.
Right.
I think if he picked up backdoor diamonds, he would have bet a lot of the time on the turn.
Agreed.
I think if he had the ace X of hearts, he would be scared to overcall with that anyway, but I also think he would have bet the turn with that. So I don't think he's got a lot of good hands here unless he just checked back the 7-8 and hoped that it came in.
Yeah, 7-8's the thing. Or something weird. I guess he could have like king 5 of hearts, I guess. Like there's a few other weird stuff out there, but there's not that much. I agree with you. Like the guy behind me feels mostly irrelevant in this hand.
He does. So we block the flush with the queen of diamonds.
Yeah.
We unblock hearts. We don't have any hearts.
Right.
It feels like a call. It feels like I'm sad and I call. That's what it feels like.
Cool. I actually do find the call here. One of the questions I was thinking about afterward, and I'll show you what the guy had in a second, is a raise just better? The guy who bet 17, he's got 60 back. I cover him. So if I raise, I can really put all his pretty good hands into the blender. I block the nuts. Even if he has 7-8, he's not going to like it. He may call, but he's not going to like it. Ace is up. Now, some of these guys are just going to call no matter what if they have a value hand here, right? Like,
yeah.
So that is the one problem.
It's also like, I don't know the quality of the player, but it's hard for you to rep the nut diamonds when you don't bet the turn.
I agree.
Right? That means you had queen X of diamonds that bet the flop and not the turn on this run out,
I agree.
which is nuts.
Really,
like,
really
that
tough.
doesn't happen.
Tough story.
Yeah.
Tough sell.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. So I do find the call. Let's see what happens here. Let's get the reveal. I think for a while, I really go into the tank, but I do ultimately end up clicking the call button. And
I'm guessing the guy behind is going to fold.
he
right?
is going to fold. And we get the queen 6 offsuit reveal from the big blind. So he basically turned a version of 7-5. He turned one pair, a bad pair, into a bluff here when he realized he can't be good. Which is reasonable. He actually is probably targeting a hand sort of like I have, or like jacks or something for me anyway. And I don't know I guess he's hoping the other guy has hearts. The other guy, by the way, ends up showing missed hearts. And so we just get to win on this spot with the king queen.
I guess, I like his play a lot better. He has queen of hearts, 6 of diamonds, so he does have a diamond. That's nice. It would be a lot better if it was queen of diamonds, 6 of spades or something.
Yeah.
That would be a better play.
Yeah.
But, yeah, interesting. Interesting that he shows up with a hand like that.
Yeah, it's true. I think a lot of players at this level are going to check and hope they're good.
Yeah.
Even though they're almost never good. So it's kind of cool to bet, and he bet enough to put a hand like even I have in trouble. If I have 2 10s here, I'm just done, right? I'm just going to fold, I think.
Yeah,
So,
and if you don't have the queen of diamonds,
Yep.
you maybe are supposed to fold. I'm not sure.
I think
but
you're probably right. So anyway, the thing I was wondering about was this river decision mainly of just like, is this just always a raise because we have the queen of diamonds and we can get maybe we can get most of the value to fold, even though
I only think like your story doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It has to be against the type of player who's capable of folding aces up and some straights and stuff like that. So you need a lot of data on the player to make a play like that, I think.
Right on. Well, cool. Then I'm glad you agree. I was unsure if this was optimal.
Sick and tired of being tired of being sick. In my head 24/7, how I'm supposed to pay the rent. Mr. Practice, I don't play. Friday nights we on the bench, trying to come up with a play. If it don't work, then hit a lick. So if knocking at my door, praying they ain't tell. I'm studying her word, pray her baby excel. Got away with way too much, should've got expelled, but the school saw my potential. Smart kid trying